Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the review and first impression on the new Jaclyn Hill palette. And I went ahead and did my face and everything so that we're just going to focus on eyes today on the palette. And so here is the palette. As you can see, it's like white with silver lettering and it's kind of like a cardboard material. And on the back it just says Morphe X Jaclyn Hill, and it has her initials JH all over the back. I have not used it yet, so this is true first impression to prove that I still have the sleeve over it. So I'm going to take it off. Here is what all the colors look like, and at the top you can see the wording. It says, "This palette is dedicated to all my loving subscribers, XO Jaclyn." So I think that's super cool. I'm going to start off by just saying real quick before we get into tutorial and swatches that I love the look of the palette. I love the white and silver. She said before that's like her favorite kind of style is white and silver. I love that. There's only two things really that I love about the palette still, but that I kind of wish they would have done, but it does make sense. The one thing is that the names are not actually like on the palette anywhere. They're not like next to the eyeshadows or even on the back like matching up like some eyeshadows do. They're actually on this card that it comes with, and you can't really see because it's much small lettering, but it shows like all the shadows. Kind of looks like they're shattered or something, and then it has the names of them, and then on the back it says like a picture of her, and it says now available online and in stores, like that kind of thing. And so that's the only thing. It kind of sucks, really only for videos. I mean, for your sake, you're not going to be like, oh, I love this color, obsessed, you know. You're just going to want to like tell people maybe this color or when you're doing videos so you can reference it. But I think it was Miss Lola Lynn. She had the idea of just taping on the back, so I think I'm going to do that. It'll probably be the easiest thing. And then the only other thing is I kind of wish, since it's such a good sized palette for like traveling and stuff like that, it would have been really nice to have a mirror. But then again, it makes sense. Like, I really like Jaclyn's idea. She said that like how she put on the inside, this palette is dedicated to all her loving subscribers. She said she wanted it on the inside kind of instead of a mirror, so that every time you do your makeup you see that. So I think that's really special. So I think that's almost better than a mirror. So those are really the only things. I did swatch a couple shadows just to get an idea on the back of my hand. I was really interested in seeing like Pool Party because it's such a fun color, and that color swatched really pretty. So that's the only thing I've really done. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to do some live swatches that you're about to see a clip of, and then after that we'll get into the actual tutorial. Okay, so here's the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to go ahead and do some swatches. I'm going to do row by row. So the first color here we have here is in Light. Next we have Beam. Then after that we're going to have Silk Cream, kind of a peachy shade. Then MFEO. Faint. Sissy. And Little Lady. And that's the first row. After that, the second row, we have Creamsicle, Butter, Pooter, Pukey, Hunts, Firework, and Queen, and that's the second row. Now for the third row we have Obsessed, SBN, Hilster, Roxanne, Jax, Buns, and Cran Apple. Now for the fourth row, we have Royalty, Twerk, Hustle, Meeks, 24/7, Chip, and then Mocha. And then now the last row. First is Pool Party, and then after that is going to be Jada. And I want to go ahead and mention that I feel like the swatches aren't really doing as much justice as your eyes. And the next color was Diva, Enchanted, Central Park, Soda Pop, and Abyss. And those are all the swatches. Okay, so I'm not even really sure what kind of look I'm going for. I'm just going to kind of look at it and see what kind of look I'm going to go for. Just fly by the seat of our pants. So, let's see. I think for starters, I went ahead and put primer on my eyes too. So I think for starters, I'm going to go ahead and set down with, and I'm not going to keep showing the palette, but I'll show a picture of the palette with like the color that I'm going to use, because it's going to be hard. I'm actually holding my son right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by setting down with the color Beam. Okay, so I'm going to take my setting brush and I'm going to go in with Beam. It's a really pretty color. And Beam, by the way, I don't think that's matte. It's kind of a sheen color, but I just wanted to kind of set it down because it was kind of a creamy color. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my transition shade. And for my transition shade, I'm going to be using Silk Cream. Sorry, I'm having to look at the card to see, just so I can tell y'all what it is. Okay. It's a really pretty color. Okay, I'll blend that out just a little bit. Okay, and let's go ahead and deepen it out now. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and go into Butter. Yes, so far I'm noticing these colors go on really smoothly, and the little bit that I've blended out so far have blended out really well. Let's go ahead and blend this out and see. Oh yeah, I like it because some like blend really well and then they just blend away, but these, like, you're still getting your color payoff and they blend out beautifully. Sometimes those matte shades are the hardest, and it is so pretty. I love that. Okay, let's go ahead and build it up a little bit more just so we can play around with some colors. I think I'm going to use this shade. Go in the shade with Buns. See, that's really pretty. I know it looks so weird right now because I don't have any mascara or anything. I just have my face done, so it's so strange looking. I just thought our main focus could be the palette today, since I'm sure that's what y'all are more interested in. Okay, I really like that. Let's go ahead and deepen up our outer corner now. Let's see what I think I want to use the shade Soda Pop, which I believe is kind of like a actually no, let's not use Soda Pop. It's a really pretty color, but it's kind of like a cool toned, I think. So I think I'd rather go in with Central Park. It's like a deep brown. Kind of sticking to like more of a warmer look. Yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, as you can see, that's really pretty, like dark brown color. I didn't deepen it up too much, but it's good because it's a really good buildable color, or you can have really deep. I used it's not a very dense brush. I used a pretty fluffy brush to put it on because I didn't want to pack it on too much. So don't let that fool you on pigmentation. Okay, that's really pretty. Okay, and highlight my brow bone, and I'm going to use the shade in Light. That's really pretty. It's really pretty. It's actually got kind of like a sheen to it, which is really pretty, but it's not like too overboard. I like it a lot. Okay, and let's go ahead and go with our lid shade. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do something different. I normally don't do my bottom lash line with eyeshadow, but let's go ahead and go all out. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Buns on my lower lash line. I'm just gonna use this kind of pointed brush. I'm not gonna go all the way in. I'm just gonna go like about a half or a quarter. There we go. And go. Okay. And then let's go and go with the lid shade now. There's so many pretty shades, and even though Pool Party, I'm going to make another look using Pool Party because I want to kind of plan that out and see what looks best with that. But the shade that I've really been drawn to, because it's like kind of my go-to kind of shade color, is the shade, ironically it's the shade Obsessed, which is the shade that she mentioned she called Obsessed because like she was so obsessed trying to get it perfect, and then she ended up calling it that. So that's funny, I didn't even realize that was the shade I picked out. So that is perfect then, because I am obsessed with this color. It's so pretty. It's my perfect shade. Evidently Jaclyn's dream palette is my dream palette. Oh, isn't that pretty? It's so beautiful. I love that. A beautiful like sheen, like I can see it like reflecting off the light. So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and blend out really quick my crease again, make sure it's blended really well. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So overall, here's the palette again. Overall, I told you the couple things that I wasn't a big fan of, but I totally understand. Also, I understand like the names not being on there because that costs more and it makes it a little bit more affordable. This palette was $38, but you can get a discount code using Jaclyn's code, which is I believe Jack Attack. And also there's plenty of other people that have discount codes too where you can get like either 10 or 15% off. So that's what that is. Overall, I love the palette. I felt like the shadows were very blendable. They were very pigmented, just the shades that I used. Of course, I only used like a handful of shades, but I plan on doing more looks with them. And so overall, I give this a thumbs up. I really liked it and enjoyed it, and I'm so excited to keep playing around with it. So thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks.